Hello and welcome to System of Praise. This is the second video in the series considering God our Father. It's great to be a father, but it's also hard work to be a real father. In this fallen world we live in, relationships are often strained. Selfish desires on the part of both parents and children often get in the way, and the pressures of life often mean that we find ourselves wishing that we could just be freed of our responsibilities and do whatever we please. But a good father loves his children, even though those children can be incredibly stressful to deal with. Sometimes you'll have to say something 100 times before it gets done. Sometimes you'll have to confront rudeness and bad behavior. And other times you'll have to be very unpopular when you make sure that disobedience does not go unpunished. The Bible tells us in Hebrews 12, verse 6, "For the Lord disciplines those he loves, and he punishes each one he accepts as his child." And in the same way, discipline is an important part of a father's love. Proverbs 13 verse 24 tells us, "Whoever spares the rod hates his son, but he who loves him is diligent to discipline him." As well as discipline, a good father stands ready to sacrifice for his children, even if he has to give up everything to do so. These things we strive to do while battling our weaknesses and our limitations. But as we look up to heaven, we can see how much greater God's unfailing love is than anything we can achieve and any love that we can offer. In Luke 15, verses 11 to 32, we read, Jesus continued, "There was a man who had 2 sons. The younger one said to his father, 'Father, give me my share of the estate.' So he divided his property between them. Not long after that, the younger son got together all he had, set off for a distant country, and there squandered his wealth in wild living. After he had spent everything, there was a severe famine in that whole country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to a citizen of that country, who sent him to his fields to feed pigs. He longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. When he came to his senses, he said, 'How many of my father's hired servants have food to spare? And here I am, starving to death. I will set out and go back to my father and say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants.' So he got up and went to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. The son said to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son.' But the father said to his servants, 'Quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fatted calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. So they began to celebrate. Meanwhile, the older son was in the field. When he came near the house, he heard music and dancing. So he called one of the servants and asked him what was going on. Your brother has come, he replied, and your father has killed the fattened calf because he has him back safe and sound. The older brother became angry and refused to go in. So his father went out and pleaded with him. But he answered his father, Look, all these years I've been slaving for you and never disobeyed your orders. Yet you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours, who has squandered your property with prostitutes, comes home, you kill the fattened calf for him. My son, the father said, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad, because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. This parable of Jesus, as do many of his parables, gives us a really deep insight into the heart of our Heavenly Father for his children. He is not a distant God. He wants us to come to him, in spite of how far away we have wandered. He longs to see us turn back and return to him. There are many things that these verses about the prodigal son teach us about God as our Father and about ourselves, and I'll break these down and explore further in the next video.